Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Straight Out of BS podcast. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It really means the world to me. Thank you to my Patreon members and my listener support on Spotify. You guys mean the world to me. There's also a join button on the YouTube now, too. If you guys are interested in that, links are in the description. I appreciate all of you. I want to do a moment of silence for the person still struggling with like intrusive thoughts or addiction or anything like that. So on the count of three, I'm going to do a moment of silence. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you for that. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce my guest for the day. Go ahead and introduce yourself and where you went and what year. Did you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think when I moved from outside to inside, my Wi-Fi messed up. I'm so sorry.
No, you're all good. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself and where you went and what year.
So I'm Sarah Jones. I went to Cross Creek Manor 2012 to 2013.
Okay, and could you step back a little bit so you're like more in like because your face is cut off. There you go. There
Okay.
you go.
Mhm.
There you go. Okay. And can you walk us through what was going on before you got sent there and what led up to you being sent there?
Yeah, so I was sneaking out, drinking, doing drugs, running away. My dad and I didn't have a good relationship, and my mom had just recently passed away when I was in 8th grade. So I was coping with that.
Okay. And did you get transported or did your parents bring you up there? Can you walk us through that?
Oh, yeah, I got transported. I actually knew that I was getting sent away the night before because my dad called my best friend's mom, and I overheard him on the phone saying that there was going to be a girl and a guy coming to pick me up in the middle of the night. So I had actually like packed a bag and had different like clothes on to like leave the house. And then I had accidentally fallen asleep. So I woke up at like 3 in the morning to people knocking on my door, and it was locked. And then they came in and said, if you want to do this the easy way or the hard way, you can choose. And I was going to run out the window, but then I decided not to. And they were like, you can pack a bag. And I'm pretty sure, like, maybe just the girl stayed with me while I packed my bag. But I packed like a backpack, and they said, pack because you're going to a boarding school in Las Vegas for 2 months. Like you have a uniform there, but just like pack some extra stuff. So I just packed like some clothes. And they had me not in handcuffs, but they like just held my hands behind my back. And I don't remember like what I said to my dad, but I was like, are you joking? And he was like, didn't really say anything and was silent and just like let them like have my hands behind my back and like walked me to the car.
Okay. And did they fly you there? Did they drive you?
We've I was living in Atlanta at the time, so we went to the Atlanta airport, and I'm pretty sure we stopped at one place. Maybe not, but maybe we drove straight to Vegas and then got a car and then drove 2 hours to Laverton, Utah.
Okay. And what do you remember about when you first got there? Do you remember like did they buddy you up? Did they hand you like a physical rule manual? What do you remember about when you first got there?
When I first got there, because my transporters were like actually kind of cool. Like I had gotten like food and stuff. So right when I got there, I was like strip searched, and I had like extensions on at the time, and they took like all my extensions out. They like took all my like body jewelry out and like made me like squat and cough and like put this like the highlighter shirt on. And like right when I was like, what the fuck? And like right when I got there, they gave me my Hope Buddy, and they were like, you can't like, you can only basically like talk to her. And I was like, what the heck? And she was so sweet, and I was like, like, I don't get this. Like, how long have you been here? And she said 2 years. And as soon as she said that, I literally like cried for literally like 3 hours. Like, I was like hyperventilating. And luckily, like, nothing like bad happened to me. I think that they actually did feel bad because I was like just crying for 3 hours. But that's like all I remember from like right when I got there.
Okay. And if you had to estimate how many girls were there when you got there and how many girls were there when you left, yeah, if you had to make an estimation.
Um, when I when I got there, this is probably a good thing to. It was Cross Creek, and then it was Horizon. So there was two different programs, like
Yeah.
ran by two different people, but we had like we had different uniforms too, and like we couldn't talk to them like unless we were in seminars or like high levels. So when I got there, there was probably like maybe like 25 to 30 girls on our side and then 25 to 30 girls, maybe more. I'm like blinking, but there was like two different sides, so probably like on each side like 30 to 40 and like
Okay.
six guys.
Okay. And how long after you got there did they put you through your first seminar?
I think it was like 2 months.
Okay. And was your first seminar orientation or discovery?
I think it was Discovery.
Okay. And what level did you get to at Cross Creek?
Level 6. Well, so when I was there, after it was Cross Creek and Horizon, those programs got shut down when I was in there. So then we all combined it and we changed, like there were like blue uniforms, and then now we had like red uniforms with khaki pants, and we were youth foundations. Um, so I made it to level 6, but after level 5, I went to a different program side, and it was a program that he had people like kids come that could like talk to boys and girls. You could like wear your own outfits. It was literally like just a summer program for like 3 months, but we were still in the same facility. So I was like basically an unpaid staff member to like the Riverview kids.
Okay. And would you like talk to parents and perspective, like people thinking about sending their kids there and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. And how long did it take you to get to level 6 at Cross Creek?
Um, Probably like 8 months, 9 months.
Okay. And did you get through all your seminars the first time, or did you choose out?
I got through all of them my first round.
Okay. And let's see. Did you have a graduation ceremony there?
Yeah, so my dad, when I was level 5, they tried to keep me in the program longer, and my dad was like, fuck that. And my dad also chose out of like the second seminar, and they tried to keep me there longer, but my dad said no and like surprised me for coming for like I don't know how he got to go to like the last seminar with me, but he did. And it was like a big shock to me because I thought I was about to be in the program for like 3 more months, but he surprised me. So I was level 5 when that happened. And then I begged and pleaded. Like I could text my dad at this point, like off of Chapin's phone. Like I could call him, and I begged and pleaded and asked if I could go to the Riverview camp for the summer. And he said yes. But when like my after like 11 months, school was starting back up here in Georgia. So my dad pulled me, and then I was home for like a month and then went back that weekend to graduate
Okay.
for the ceremony. So like I had a graduation ceremony, but I wasn't like in the program.
Okay. And what was the worst thing you saw there, and or heard about?
Um, I would say just like the sexual abuse and the restraints that like the guys were downstairs and we were upstairs. Like you knew when someone was getting restrained because you could like hear it on the radio, and you can usually like hear someone screaming or like calling out for help, but like you can't talk about it or acknowledge it or you'll get like a cat 5. So probably that.
Okay. And what was the hardest part for you about being there, and how did you deal with it?
um Looking back now, I think the hardest part was being away from like my friends and family, but also like now like the worst part is like being brainwashed and like being taken advantage of and being lied to.
Okay. And did you have any interaction before you went to Riverside?
Yes.
Okay. Like what went on? Was it just like grooming, or like what
Um
stuff would he do?
so like grooming, showing like inappropriate pictures like on his phone, um just like bullying people, like favoritism, like putting high levels and low levels against each other and other people. Um, like in one of the seminars, he like sat on my friend, and he's like a really big guy. Like
Okay.
that's a lot for me because I'm like processing. Like I was still sticking up for this guy like probably like 2 weeks ago, and like I'm like I haven't talked to him in a very long time, but yeah. Like I
Okay.
would go over to like his house and have like dinner and like be in a car with like him and other like high levels and like meeting his family and like stuff like that and going to church with them.
Did it ever feel weird to you back then?
No, because like it's more of like a competition thing, and like you it's like you'll do anything to like get out of that classroom. Like you'll do anything to like go to McDonald's. Like it didn't feel like some of it was like when I think of like the pictures that I was shown, I think back then I still thought that that was like inappropriate, but then again I was like I'm looking at a phone, like I haven't seen a phone in like forever, like, and then he would let me like use his phone, so it's like
Okay. And so how you were there about 8 or 9 months, you said?
I was there for 11 months.
11 months. Okay. And what was the hardest part about, like, or hold on, did they load you up with prescription medications or take you off cold turkey when you were there, or were you not on prescriptions?
I was on my Adderall, and then I'm pretty sure I got off of it or back on it. Like I don't remember. I think that I got off of it. I think I was taking it when I got there, and then I like they wanted me to stop taking it.
Okay. And how was the food there? Was it horrible? Was it decent? Was it
Um,
good?
I was actually just talking about this. We used to eat like cream of wheat, and like our food, like I would like compare it to like Golden Corral, like not like amazing food, but it wasn't like it's like restaurant like food or like Piccadilly food, not like Golden Corral because Golden Corral is kind of good, but
Yeah.
like just like kind of like cafeteria food, like food that you would get like not even I don't know. It wasn't like that bad. Like I would get like thirds and fourths type, but I was also like so hungry. Like we didn't have snacks, so like I gained a lot of weight. Like when I came in there, it was like 95 pounds, and when I left, I was like 160, because like we didn't have like snacks. So like when you had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you were like eating your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay. And let's see. Did you guys get to go to the library at all there? and check
Um,
out?
I don't believe that we had a library. Maybe we did. I think it was upstairs, but I didn't go to the library.
Okay. And did they do any like off grounds like trips with you guys as upper levels?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did they take you?
We went to like Lake Powell sometimes, and then like a lot of times like I played basketball like as a high level, so sometimes we would go to like our basketball coach's house, like, but you would be a high level to be able to play basketball. So like there and like hiking and
Okay. Did you spend any time in worksheets or intervention?
no.
Okay. What about runners? What did they say about runners? Was there anybody that ran when you?
Yeah, there was a few people that did try. One of like our youngest girls tried, and I'm pretty sure it was someone told me in the group chat that it was Jason that restrained her. And I think I remember that happening, but I wasn't like I didn't see them restrain her. But Laverkin's like obviously like a really small town. Like these people, like if someone saw someone like running, like who was probably in a staff buddy shirt, like they would call the cops immediately.
Definitely. Um, what's been the hardest part reintegrating into society? Like when you got back home, what have you struggled with the most?
Um, I think I've struggled the most with like forgiving my dad and having like common interests with people. Not like interests, but like maybe traumas. Like there's I want to know like what the percentages of children that have gotten sent away because it's like not that many. So
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of hard to relate to people, definitely. Um, where are you at with your parents? Have you talked to them about how this place affected you? Have they watched the program? Do you think they ever will? And like, have you forgiven your parents? My thing is, I've forgiven them, but I'll never forget what they did to me. So, where are
yeah.
you with your parents?
That's probably like the toughest thing that I have going on right now. My dad and I don't have a good relationship. It was kind of rocky even before like the documentary came out. And I'm pretty sure my dad watched like one episode, and that really pisses me off because it's kind of like the seminars. Like he only went through like one and a half and then chose out. And I just I want like like all I really want is like an apology for my dad. So it's like there's just a lot of like he has a lot of pride. So I'm like our relationship is not not strong at all right now. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm that really hurts my heart and that hurts me more, but like I'm not like I don't even care about like an apology. Like I do, but like I want an apology from my dad first and then I want an apology from those people.
Okay. And what do you think you needed instead of being sent away? What do you think would have helped you?
Um I think just like proper therapy. When I went to therapy, it was like at my like at our family church with like someone that knew my dad and I. So it's like every time that I had therapy was like either someone from the church or like somebody like within the church. And that's how my dad found Cross Creek was from a couple in our church.
Okay. And let's see. Was there anything good about your experience at all? And it's perfectly fine if there wasn't.
Um, I think so. Obviously the people that I met. Um, Obviously like it did slow me down and it scared me and like I don't know who knows what could have happened. I had like a horrible experience thinking about it now because I was so brainwashed. But that, like, back then, like, it wasn't that bad for me because I was just like following all of the rules.
Okay. And as an upper level, do you have any guilt for like consequenting people or anything like that? Do you hold on to any guilt from like when you were in the program at all?
Yeah. Um, a lot of my, I had like, I swear I had like 16 Hope buddies, like if that's even possible. But like I had like a bunch of like Hope buddies, and I did like a lot of people's like intakes, and I do feel guilty because I was so brainwashed, but I don't feel guilty because like I was the high level that like was able to like was sent like an intervention to like help somebody, like was an intervention to like I would hug them, like I would like my lower levels were my babies, like they still are, like I always check on them, like so I don't feel too guilty, I guess.
Okay. And let's see. Is there anything else you want people to know about your experience or anything that you might, or hold on a second. Knowing what you know now, or I have a couple more questions. I forget these at the end. If you go back in a time machine and not go through that experience, knowing what you know now, would you do it and why?
Wait, can you repeat it?
Okay. If you could go back in a time machine, knowing what you know now, and not go through those boarding schools, would you do it and why?
um yeah, I would not want to do that, just because like now like I have like so much trauma and like so much like it's I don't think it's hate because I don't want to hate anybody or hate anything, but I have like it's like crippling, like the anxiety and like the trauma and like the nightmares and like everything that we've all like experienced and like seen and witnessed, like that's gonna like stick with me for like the rest of my life. And I've been through other traumatizing experiences, like my mom passing away and getting sexually assaulted, not just in the program, but like outside, and like nothing, and being in horrible toxic relationships, and like nothing like really compares to that. Like that's always like you can sometimes see the beauty in like other things. Like the only beauty that I see are like people that I met, and yeah. So yeah.
Okay. And how has life been since the program? Like, has it been hard for you? Has it been like bearable? Has it been easy?
Um, I think it's been pretty difficult. I'm 28 years old and I'm a freelance artist, but I also, um, I don't know, I have like a lot of trauma and hate, like not hate towards my dad, but I don't know, I think life has been for like the past like 12, 13 years, it's been like pretty difficult. I had to like go back to high school, to the same high school, and I didn't graduate like with all of my friends, and like explaining that, and like I don't know, and like even with jobs, like the other day because I'm a dancer, and basically like you should be able to like leave whenever you want because like you paid your fee, and they were like you have to stay until 7, and I like freaked out because I'm like no one tell like no offense, but like no one tells me what to do, and I was like in such like a cage for like a year that like if someone tells me like you can't leave, like that really freaks me out, and I like had to talk to my manager. I'm like I now I know I need to stay until 7, but like he was like you went kind of crazy. I was like yes, like you literally told me like I couldn't leave somewhere, like that's like not like, and I struggle with stuff like that. Like I struggle with relationships. I struggle with people telling me like what to do. Like I still struggle with like authority. Like I think life has been beautiful, but I also think it's been like super difficult since the program.
Okay. And knowing what you know now, is it your belief that these remaining schools could or even or should or even could be fully regulated, or do you think that they just need to be shut down?
They just need to be completely shut down.
Okay. And why do you think that? Why is that your opinion?
Because they're not doing any help. They're making more of a mess, and it's all about money.
Okay. And is there anything else you want people to know about your experience, or anything that you might tell a parent thinking about sending their kid to a place like this?
Um, I would. I'm trying to think because those are like two different questions. Basically, like I just want like people to know that like even though these things like might have happened like 5 years ago or like 10 years ago or like 15 years ago and like things can get a little foggy, like we always remember like no one's lying. Like I'm super dramatic and I can like be like really dramatic and like explode like stories, but like that's like not the case here. And um I don't know, I just want people to know, like survivors that are watching, that like we, it sounds so corny, but like we can get through this. And like there's been like a lot, like a lot of times where like I wish I wasn't here and like I've woken up and like it's been really hard, or like I had a nightmare that I was getting kidnapped, and like that might not ever go away, but like we're always going to be here for each other. And like even like if we went to different like programs, like we're always going to like at least have people that support you. And like if you aren't feeling good one day, like I'm here. Like there's always people in our like groups that like will be willing to talk to you or me.
Awesome. And I am kind of curious, did you ever struggle with hard drugs or any addiction after you got out of the program? Like just trying.
Yeah. So when I was like 21, 22, I started working like in the, like being a server, like right, like I was like a host, I think, before I went into the program. And then after I was like serving tables. And I think when I was like 21, 22, I got like really big into like Coke. And am I allowed to say that here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, like really big into like Coke and like doing Adderall again, because I'm like prescribed Adderall, but I don't take it anymore because I don't really like the way it makes me feel. But I got like really big into like doing Coke. And then when I was like during COVID, I got like really big into like Coke and like doing balloons and like all of those. Like when I've had like, I'll call them like a Coke addiction or like a Coke spiral, it's usually only like 2 to 3 months. Like I can like usually chill it out. But like even when I was like 26, I was like a bottle girl in Atlanta, and I was just doing like a bunch of Coke again for like almost like a year. So I've had like, and I didn't even know like what Coke was before I went into the program.
Yeah, it's crazy how stuff like that happens. Are you still kind of like experimenting, or I'm only asking because if you are, then I just want to make sure that you be super fucking careful and test your shit.
Yeah, my friend actually, I wish I had her card. Um, I actually did like a few, but I don't do like nose drugs. My friend, she actually owns End Overdose Atlanta. End Overdose is a nonprofit from LA, but then they have like a Atlanta one. So my best friend Jill, she passes out free Narcan and test strips, and I work at the club, so I always have it on me. But yeah.
Nice, nice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. And if you ever want to do a part two, or if things come up, because usually that happens with people after they do these interviews, things come up. So if that happens, just make a list of the stuff and then we'll do a part two. Or if you just want to catch up or whatnot. And I'm always here to talk too if you need anybody. So
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.